Hey community.
Hey, how you doing?
Thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Do a backflip, hit the follow if you're on Facebook, hit the subscribe and the bell if you're on YouTube.
Especially if you're a new one.
Yeah, that's a new thing we're gonna start saying. It is to test our future members, make sure that they must pass the trial of strength to join us.
And smack that bell so you get notifications.
Alright, let's
let's talk about this Long Beach Comic Con.
No.
What?
We are going to talk about Brave New World first because we owed that to them yesterday.
Well, that's right. On Saturday, we end up taking a trip out to Brave New World in San Fernando Valley.
Right.
And why did we go there?
We went there to see, as we said in the last episode, Derek Hunter, and well, that's who we went to see. But more things, as we said in the last episode, were happening than just his signing.
Oh yeah, there was the whole
Pokemon Go tournament, which was actually very entertaining to watch.
Oh, that thing was awesome.
And
it was massive.
And we actually got to interview the owner of Brave New World.
Yeah, we'll end up showing that to our community.
And we will show that in a little bit. For now, let's throw out some shout outs just quickly before we start throwing out these clips for the interviews for Brave New World. We'll just quickly shout out David Repose, Ryan Cady, Mike Wellman, Derek Hunter, Chrissy Shin, who
unfortunately, she got ill and couldn't make it to the Long Beach Comic Con. She had, she had some pancreatic problems. I hope she's doing better, and I believe she's recovering well. So a shout out to Christy, and I hope you get better soon.
Drew Zucker and David Boer. Also shout out to the Comic Book Speculation Group.
Yeah, CBSI. Hope you guys are watching. Well, Kai.
Well, they have you covered for your weekly hot picks. I think they have that, and they also have Mr. Bolo's list, which well,
they'll give you a weekly top 10, basically what's coming out for the next Wednesday.
How about you explain the joke of Mr. Bolo, because I didn't get it at first.
Well, obviously it's be on the lookout. And be on the lookout for certain things.
They call him Mr. Bolo because he tells you what to be on the lookout for.
Right. First appearances, hot picks as far as what books to be on the lookout for. Obviously, as far as reader specs and so forth. I like watching the show, and on this show we don't really expect, but I end up finding good things to read from listening to them. So I hope you listen to us. And
right. Shout out to you guys. All right, moving on. So we got to, like we said before, we got to interview Derek Hunter and the owner of the shop, and let's just throw those clips at them right now.
There you go. I'm videoing. So hey.
Oh, hey. It's onetwocomictalk with Derek Hunter, and he's the maker of
Pretty Violent. And we're at Brave New World.
Yup.
And we're saying hi, and hey, we're digging this. Look at what he's doing. Look, will you check that out?
He's even doing a little free sketch for us, and we hope to maybe throw you some questions, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
That was an interesting. For instance, I got one for you. You have a cover with Gamma Ray on the next issue.
Yeah.
And an ice cream truck.
Yes.
What is Gamma Ray's favorite flavor of ice cream?
Oh man, she loves the Ninja Turtles with the gumball eyes.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And a little more in-depth question. What were your thoughts as you were making this comic? What started your idea to make this? What were you thinking as you were making it?
Gosh, it evolved so much over time. I actually first started conceptualizing the idea in 2012 or 13.
Wow.
And I was just gonna make it just a regular kind of a superhero comic.
Right.
But mostly it was just no, I gotta have something a little more.
You gotta spice it up.
Yeah.
You gotta make it different.
And different it definitely is.
And so I pulled from my own life, where I'm the youngest of 7, and my older sisters are all really conservative, really religious, really straight-laced and all that stuff. And I tend to be a little more, I was in punk rock bands in high school, and I was, hanging out with some interesting characters. And so I'm like, well, I could, but my family still loved and supported me, and they took me to comic book conventions. They let me borrow the car to go to these weird punk shows in San Francisco, because I grew up in that area. And I wanted to make a story about a girl who's different from her family, but they still support her. And you're gonna see that aspect of Pretty Violent start introducing itself in the next few issues, where her siblings want to see her succeed, even though they think her dreams are stupid. They want to see her succeed. They want to see her do her own thing.
Well, we definitely saw in the ending part of the first issue that some future Gamma Ray and some goons appear. Will that have anything to influence the series, or is that just kind of there?
That was kind of just like, we had extra room in issue 1. Image is like, oh, you need to fill out 4 more pages, and we're like, let's just make like a silly story.
And so you just threw future Gamma Ray and all.
So are you saying in some regards that Gamma Ray is kind of a comparison to yourself, but just kind of in a reverse manner, where you are the male but she's a female in a different household of...
Yeah. And also she's a lot like my daughter, who struggles with being good. Like, she really wants to be good, and she's a good kid, but her child impulsiveness and brain can't
I think that's a little bit of all of us.
Yeah, and so kind of I inserted a little bit of that into her as well, and it's been fun to watch her struggle.
So in some sick, twisted way, Gamma Ray is like all of us.
Yeah,
I would say I'm definitely part.
Yeah.
Look at that.
All right. Well, thank you again for the interview. Goodbye from 1-2 Talk, and look at what he did for us.
Quick little 2-minute sketch.
1.
Hey guys.
Again, 3, 2, 1.
Hey community, it's 1-2,
Comic Talk.
and we are with
Andy from Brave New World Comics.
Now,
Hey, Andy.
You are the owner of the shop.
Oh yeah, here, let's be careful. Yes, indeed.
What sparked your love to make a shop? Just a shop for comics? What sparked your love in comics?
Sure, so definitely the Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles all day.
Well, speaking of which, we actually got to just see Kevin Eastman the other day, and he was over at another shop. So I can understand why you love the
Turtle
Turtles so
power.
much. Myself, I had stuff signed all the way back from 1985. So
That's awesome, man.
hey, we were here before, and can you give us the name of the shop in which that you own?
Yes, Brave New World Comics.
And where are you located?
We are in Santa Clarita, California. Specifically New Holland.
So, again, if Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles started your love for comics, what made you want to build a shop?
So I didn't build this store. I'm actually its 5th owner, which is pretty crazy. It started in 1992. It's gone through 4 other owners, and I'm number 5. I will be the last one.
Hey, yeah, you will.
Yeah.
You the man.
So, opportunity came along. I used to work for the publisher Valiant and Boom Studios.
Oh.
So I was working for them. My job was to work with store retailers and help them better sell our comics. So one of my clients was the former owner of here, and by the end of one of our conversations, I was buying the place from him. So
Wow. So you just pitched in to share your love for comics with everybody else?
that's right.
Awesome.
I also noticed you had a second floor here. Is that utilized for anything else other than just comic books?
Oh yeah, we do a lot of gaming. We should do a video take up there before we
Right.
leave.
At the moment, they are doing a Pokemon Go tournament. If you can pan to all these players, they are all playing Pokemon Go at the
Wow.
moment. Now upstairs,
They're all being caught. The best there ever was.
inside
will
the
be discovered by 4 o'clock today.
inside the building, on the top floor, is a competition going on of Pokemon Go. and it's pretty intense.
We also have an artist signing going on right now, Pretty Violent, by artist Derek Hunter, a New Image Comics book, and we also have a HeroClix tournament happening today too upstairs. So crazy stuff.
So community, you have to stay in contact with Brave New World. You must get on their site.
Yes.
You must friend their stuff. So hey, from 1-2-Comic-Talk, take care. Much love.
May the force be with you.
Hey, we're back, and I still can't believe we got this awesome sketch by
Mr. Derek Hunter.
completely just an awesome guy. Even on the sketch, you can notice you can't read it because it's backwards, but he said it is written for my buds at 1-2-Comic-Talk by Derek, and he even signed it and put a little 19 of.
We're very grateful. We're still bouncing off the walls. You know, Brave New World always hosts great events, and this was just another one of those events that when we walked away, we were still pretty high. So a shout out to them.
Thank you so much.
A shout out to Derek and the guys. And now, how about we end up talking about more with the Long Beach Comic Con? There was some.
Now we can do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we end up driving from San Fernando back over to Long Beach. Those of you who may not know this, it's a little trek. Once we got there, we end up walking into the doors, and the first thing that we end up walking into basically is Golden Apple. I've been shopping at Golden Apple Comics for well over 30 years.
Right, and this was still the day that we went to Brave New World. We had just came back. I don't know if you mentioned that, but we just came back from Brave New World, and we got there around 3. Are you sore yet?
I'm sore. Are you sore?
I'm used to this. This is my like 4th con, or like 4th con. Yes.
I'm building up to the endurance level.
Yeah, and cons will definitely get you used to that. It's like walking around at Disneyland. Anyway. We walked in, Golden Apple was right in front. We even got to do a little interview. We'll talk more about that later.
Yep.
We talked to them for a little bit, and we walked off with Blastosaurus and some other comics.
They at Golden Apple, they asked us to do a review on Blastosaurus. If you watched our last episode, you get to see that review. We highly recommend that. As in the case also over at Golden Apple, highly recommend them. And thanks for the tons of free stuff that you get.
Hey, no, we can't. Are we allowed to talk about that they got us free stuff?
Thank you very much for, we're very gracious for the time that we spent with you and for what you did for us. So, hey, also, anyways, like I said, I've been a loyal customer of them for over 30 years. They've been around for, they're celebrating their 40th year now.
Oh my God.
They've been around for a while, and I know right now, I think they're on at least the 2nd, if not 3rd generation. So,
wow.
Again, like I said, or like you also mentioned, we're going to end up showing an interview with them.
Right, we got to interview a lot of people, but again, right now we're just trying to go chronologically. Day 1, we got to interview Golden Apple and Frank Gogol. We're going to show those clips right now. God, this is a long video.
Well, hey, bear with us. I'm sure you'll appreciate it as much as we do.
Here's the clips.
Here it is.
Watch out.
Here we are at Golden Apple. We've been asked to review the Blastosaurus.
This is the new issue. It's the summer special. Just came out about a month ago. Check it out. It's amazing. Funny. Change your life.
Hey, and those of you that may not know, this is again Golden Apple. Please check them out. They're located in LA, California. Thank you very much from 1-2-Comic-Talk. Hi, this is Kevin from
1-2-Comic-Talk. And I am Kai from
1-2-Comic-Talk. And we're here to interview Frank Gogol.
Yeah, so let's get going. These are all your comics?
No, none of these are my comics. Grief is my comic.
So, what's this one about?
This is my first comic. It came out last year. It is a short story collection, so it's little 5-page stories, horror and sci-fi, monsters, aliens, dealing with sort of real-world problems that don't get talked a lot about in comics, like mental health and mental illness, depression, all sorts of weird, dark topics.
What inspired you to make it?
I like talking about things that matter. I wanted to write wanted to write monsters and aliens and superheroes, but I didn't want to do it in a way that like felt empty to me. Like my favorite comics are books like The Crow and Kabuki by David Mack. Like these are books that are cyberpunk and sort of mystical stories that talk about things like love and parent-child relationships, like stuff that I feel like doesn't get talked about. So I wanted to do more of that.
Yeah, I like that. And how's it been doing?
This came out last April. The print run sold out in July.
Wow.
So pretty good for anthology, essentially. And then it just got nominated for a Ringo Award.
Wow.
2 weeks ago. So we'll be in Baltimore for the Ringos, and we'll hopefully win.
Wow.
Well, speaking of success, you've been doing Dead End Kids. Now that also, its first print run on the first issue, sold out rather quickly.
Yeah, it was, God, I'm going to get this wrong, but I think it was out 3 weeks before it got released. And then the first issue got pushed back 2 weeks, so then it ended up being 5 weeks before release.
What are some of your thoughts on it? It's success.
I'm really glad. I like money. But no, in all seriousness, I'm glad people dig it. Like,
Well, much like you said, you care about things that matter. I've been finding there's a big reader buzz because everyone says the reading on this matters.
yeah.
How do you feel about everyone replying so positively on your storyline?
I mean, I'm glad that they're liking it. Like, it really is just, I wrote it so people would read it, not so I could sell 6,000 copies or make 80 grand or get a movie or whatever. I wanted to sort of take a look at the coming of age genre in like an honest way. Sort of, childhood's pretty brutal, honestly, and we sort of romanticize it when we get a little bit older. It's supposed to be like the better, easier time in our lives, but I don't think that it really is, and I just wanted to write about that, and I think that I guess maybe it was onto something, and people are, it's resonating with them.
So when should we expect the next issue to come out, and is this going to be an ongoing series?
It is not, and the last issue is the one coming out next. It's only 3 issues.
Wow.
So you say.
No, you know what? I wanted to, for a couple reasons, I wanted to keep it short. One, it costs a lot of money to make a comic, and they usually don't make a ton of money. So, like, if I was going to invest in this, I wanted to tell the best story I could without making it, like, put me out of house and home. The other thing was a lot of people before the book came out didn't know who I was. Like, some people picked this up and they picked up Dead End Kids, but for the most part, it was new readers. And I felt like a 4 or 5 or 6 issue miniseries was a lot to ask financially. Like, it's $4 an issue. I asked them for 12, which I thought was kind of a lot. To ask for 24 on a name you've never heard of it's just too big a risk. So I think that retailers were able to take a bigger chance and order more numbers, and people were more willing to spend $4 on the first issue because they knew that in the long run it wasn't going to cost them $50 or whatever the next Marvel event's going to cost you. So it's an economics thing. I just wanted to keep it affordable for everyone involved, myself, the retailers, and the readers.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, this has been Kai and Kevin from 1-2
Comic Talk. Thank you very much, Frank.
Thank you.
So Sunday was actually the day we got to do the major stuff, mainly because Saturday we had to do all that Brave New World stuff. Like
we did a little reconnaissance mission over at Long Beach.
Well, that was mainly the job. We didn't have enough time to really do anything, buy anything, and because we knew we didn't have enough time, we kind of just made it a plan to see what was there instead of actually thinking, should I buy this, should I buy that?
Correct.
We got there like 3 or 4, like I said, on that Saturday, but we got there about 1 on Sunday, so we got a lot more time. And like we said, we were able to actually figure out the layout, so we were able to figure out where we needed to go, what we wanted to do relatively as we walked in.
Being strategic.
Again, got to do a ton more, got to talk with a ton of people, which is truly my passion and your passion too, right?
Yeah, this is what I live for. I love talking to the writers, to the artists, to the inkers, to the creators of all forms of the art of making these comic books, these graphic novels, these stories. This is something I feel that this is what I like to do is when I do these interviews, I actually get a feeling from them and their passion for the industry and what they do. And this is what I live for.
Damn.
So yeah, no, it's cool. And as you well know, you got to experience it too. I mean, just that interview we got to do with Derek. You know, you get to feel what he's doing. He's going from animation to comics, and he's entering a whole new world. He's seeing it with open arms, and it's cool. And I really like that as much as I felt that he was enjoying the fact of giving us the interview. So
I'm just gonna let that one sit. Alright, now we can start throwing in videos from the convention. I just got to read Psycho Baby, which I will show right here. Shout out to Dan Mendoza. This story was awesome.
I have to admit, I haven't read it yet.
You really should. It's really cool, like everything that it does.
It's on my list. It really is. There's a lot of things that are on. Well, actually, I got to interview David Pepos. And,
Going to the chapel?
And I had the fortunate ability to go ahead and read an early issue of the Going to the Chapel.
Right.
And it comes out this Wednesday. And the last 3 pages are going to blow your mind. You got to read this book. You have to read this book.
And I know you don't really love to spoil your stuff. So
No, this is obviously I mean, this is an easy one to see what's going on. One, the art's cool. Shout out to I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. I won't. I'm terrible with names, so I'm not going to do that.
The cover's awesome.
And you know what it is there's a wedding that's supposed to be happening, and it doesn't quite go as planned. And as much as you may even try to predict what's happening in the book,
you can.
You probably won't. It's kind of twisty. Has a couple things.
That's cool.
If I was to draw any type of comparisons, I want to say it's a little Quentin Tarantino-ish in there too. Oh. And I want to just say this Kill Bill because the whole wedding thing. No. It's different. And it's different in a good way. I like how David is setting this thing up. Now, also he
has another comic, right? Spencer and Locke?
Exactly, Spencer Locke. He worked on that. Exactly. I didn't have an opportunity. He was over at the Comic Book, and he was doing some signings there about a month ago, and I didn't have the fortunate ability to actually spend that much time with him. We spoke, and that was the reason why we got to go ahead and hang out at the Comic-Con Long Beach. We kind of lined that up. So, yeah, I not only recommend this book, but obviously it's setting up for a good middle miniseries. It's going to be fun. I look forward to the next book.
Yeah, I should really read it too. With the book that I chose, because this was more like a pick thing. You got to choose some books from the con. I got to choose a book from the con.
And do a little independent review, and then we got to do the joint one on Blastosaurus.
Right. With Psycho Baby, probably the coolest thing about it was it's very anime-esque type form. There was a lot of stuff in there, a lot of references that I kind of see in anime, like a lot of references to anime. Like there's one section where it goes. Anyway, the concept of it being post-apocalyptic and having gangs and stuff is totally awesome.
I'm glad you liked it.
It was worth the $15. That about wraps up the video, but I am going to hold you hostage until you tell me how much money you spend.
Too much.
Do it. Tell it. The number.
No, there's no.
The number.
Are you kidding me? I'd die by your sword.
You will die by the sword. The number.
It was worth it.
What is the number?
It was over 20.
We need an exact.
It was under $1 million.
Exact number. 50, 100. How much?
It was about 65, I think.
65?
Well, not including your 15.
We'll run with that. Alright, this has been 1-2
Comic Talk.
Hey community, this is 1-2
Comic Talk.
And we are with
Nightmare.
Now Nightmare has you've been creating that a comic for her.
Correct.
And that Kickstarter is actually starting this Friday, right?
Correct, the 6th.
And
Can you tell us a little bit about that Kickstarter that you're working on right now?
Yeah, of course. So her name is Little Six, and her
I thought I recognized the work. So,
Yeah.
is this a takeoff from Zombie Tramp World, or is this a standalone?
No, this is totally separate, new universe, new set of girls. That's her sidekick, Sugar
Oh, okay.
They're on a mission of their own, and this is a book that we created together, but it's in the same universe. I wrote it, he's doing all the interior pages.
Can you tell us the goal for the Kickstarter and how people can go ahead and help you out on that?
I'm sorry, repeat
What
that?
is your financial goal on the Kickstarter and how can we help out?
Honestly, I haven't even set a goal yet.
Okay.
Right now, it's just like preparing the page, putting all the artwork, just working all that.
So how
right
can
now.
the community find you?
Basically, if you go onto Kickstarter, type in Dan Mendoza, all his Kickstarters are right there, because that's how we do
So
all
Dan
of
Mendoza.
our books.
Okay.
Yeah, Dan Mendoza, he's the talent. He's everything.
Kai, what else you got for her? So you picked
there, I got one. What are some what are your aspirations? Kind of, what are you looking for? What do you want this to take off? Where do you want this to be?
Yeah, we're actually creating an army. Our company is called Still Ill Princess, but it's a Still Ill army that we're gathering, like-minded people that like this style of art, this genre of books. If you know anything about Zombie Tramp, this character is basically on that same horror and gore genre. This is a lot of action-packed.
our community does know that, know this, especially with the launch of that famous one with Stan Lee that was out there for a while. I think that took everyone by a little storm. The Zombie Tramp out there, everyone had to have one. So yeah, I think the community is somewhat familiar.
Awesome.
Well, hey Nightmare, thank you very much from us at 1
2
Comic Talk. Hi, this is Kevin from 1 2 Comic Talk, and I'm here with
David Pepos.
and we're going to talk about first one of two books, right? Real quickly, we're just going to touch on Spencer and Locke. Now, can you tell me, one, how many issues of Spencer and Locke is there?
We've come out with 2 4-issue arcs, so it's a total of 8 issues so far.
And it's been out how long?
Our first issue hit April 2017, and our most recent trade paperback just came out this month in August.
So that means you still have time before they sell out, all right? Now, this is the one that I've been chomping on the bit. I normally don't talk about all the spec stuff, and I really hate that stuff because this show's about Kai and I talking about comics. The one I really want to talk about is, much like we've been talking about Pretty Violent, this is one that I've been keeping on the wraps. This Going to the Chapel, I believe, is going to be something that you're going to hear on the reader buzz for a while. The reason why is, this individual here is telling a great story. I got to read a little bit about what this is about, okay? And I think this is going to hit everyone sideways. I don't think anyone's going to be ready for this. But as opposed to hearing me talk about it, let's give the individual who wrote it a chance to speak about the art and the storyline. David, tell us about Going to the Chapel, please.
Going to the Chapel, I'm describing it as Die Hard meets Wedding Crashers. It's about a gang of bank robbers that think it would be much easier to rob rich people's weddings than it would be to rob banks. And they're going to find out just how wrong they are. It's a little bit like if Quentin Tarantino had a baby with Arrested Development and then chose to bring that baby to a wedding.
Interesting.
Going to the Chapel, it's a love story at the end of the day. It's a romantic comedy in an industry that does not do romantic comedies. It's a story about commitment and dysfunctional families, and what does it take to make that leap of faith to say till death do us part? It's the kind of book you don't see in the direct market these days, and I hope it hits people sideways, just like you said.
I really do believe that to be true. I was actually talking about a couple artists, a couple creators here today about how everyone seems to be going in two paths. What I mean by that is either everyone's getting this glorified hero stuff again that we saw in the past that kind of burst the bubble of the industry. I also see individuals like yourself kind of coming at things in a new direction to say, hey look, we're willing to take the mantle here. We're willing to share with people new ideas. So can you again explain how do you come up with these fresh ideas to be able to show that these are the reader buzz type of things that people are going to want?
Well, my thought is I look at the comics industry existentially. That might be the way that best describe it. I see it, how do we make a sustainable environment that I could have a career in this for the rest of my life? Or my children, if they wanted to have a career in this. And so I try to think, what are the books that can sort of bring people to the table? How can we build a consensus? And I think, the sort of these superhero lines and sort of the more indie creator-owned stuff, they go hand in hand. It's a pendulum. You see plenty of creators they get their start in the indie sphere, they move along to the superhero sphere, they build up their name, they go back to the creator-owned sphere. It's sort of a symbiosis. There's no innovation in comics without creator-owned, but superheroes have the numbers, and so they feed on each other a little bit. And I think being able to sort of play up that partnership, leverage that, that's how you sort of have a sustainable career. That's how you build a sustainable industry. But I think being able to tell stories that are a little off the beaten path, I always try to think of what's the risk in this story. If there's no risk in the story, it's not worth it. I feel like Spencer and Locke, we parodied kind of one of the most sacred cows of comics, Bill Watterson's Calvin and Hobbes, which is an icon, deservedly so. Going to the chapel, we're tackling a genre that many publishers don't know how to sell, refuse to sell, and I think that they're leaving money on the table. And I feel like these are victories that are not necessarily won month to month or issue to issue. They're over a longer period of time. Spencer and Locke, for example, is a book that has legs. It has been selling consistently for over 2 years.
Noticing again, people keep talking about it.
People keep talking about it. People keep rediscovering it with volume 2. And I think Going to the Chapel is another one of those books that it's an evergreen story. I think everybody's had dysfunctional family. I think everyone's been in a relationship, either for better or for worse. And
sometimes both.
Sometimes both. And I feel like people also they want to see something familiar, but then twisted in a way that they don't expect. People have a bad rap about romantic comedies, for example. A lot of men think that it kind of threatens their masculinity. A lot of women think that it threatens their intelligence or their respectability. And I wanted to sort of flip the script on it. I wanted to tell a story that I thought everybody could enjoy. So by having sort of this kind of action comedy version of a rom-com, we're taking the same foundation and doing something very different that we don't really get to see. Not just in comics, but in pop culture. So it's a good question that you're asking of sort of, how do you navigate sort of these sort of monolithic licenses versus kind of, speaking to your own true self. And I think, that's why I'm in creator-owned. I want to tell the stories that mean something to me and that I can have an authentic voice. If I don't care about the story, it's hard for me to make you care about the story. And, it's not to say I don't love superheroes. I love superheroes.
All right, you do.
Those come with their own hoops and baggage and rules that I don't have to deal with.
Now, if you were to work with anybody on anything, doesn't have to be comic.
Yeah.
What would it be and who would it be with? Yes, we here at One Two Comic Talk, we kind of hit things sideways. So we usually will ask things like, what's your favorite ice cream, or do you like pizza? But this one is, who would you work with on what? Anything.
I really would love to do a Captain Planet book, desperately. And I would love somebody like Leonardo Romero from Hawkeye. I would never get to work with Chris Samnee, but I love Chris Samnee. I'd love to work with him.
But that's not saying never, hey, you heard it here.
Never say never. To be honest, my partner in crime with Spencer and Locke, Jorge Santiago Jr., he'd probably kill on that book. Big Captain Planet fan for a long time. He's due an overhaul for the 21st century, and you better believe I have a pitch on how to do it.
That's awesome. Hey, so from One Two Comic Talk, David, I'm Kevin. Kai on the camera. Thank you very much. Have a good one from Long Beach Comic Con.